All right. Okay, it is Sunday night. Ah, give me a minute. Get all the lighting together there. All right. Sunday night. It's time to talk about all the good things. Last week we talked about clearing out your pantry. It definitely deserves a revisit. We'll definitely revisit that talk from last week. It deserves a deeper dive because we glossed get you get you started. So today we're going to talk about, so if last week we cleared out the kitchen, this week we're going to go shopping virtually, and we're going to go ahead and get all the good stuff. So give me a minute to get over and make an announcement on Facebook. And of course, in pure Bentley style, the camera is live and he wants to play with the squeaky toy. So yeah, there you go. Okay. So, all right, we are live. Okay. On over. Okay. It's a rainy day here in Michigan. Had a little storm blow through. We just had several days of 70 to 80-degree weather. Very, very unusual for us this time of year. And but it felt good. I was able to get out and mend my soil. Of course, we've been talking about gardening and growing your own food, and that topic is always on the table for discussion. So I always love to talk about that. I had my soil tested. I'm trying to grow blueberries. Haven't gotten the plants yet, but I wanted to have my soil tested because they love acid soil, like, probably about a 4 to a 5. And my soil's at an 8. So I had to put down some sulfur, is what really helps to bring the acidity down in the garden so I can grow blueberries. And then I went to a meeting. I'm in a group called the Michigan Fruit and Nut Growers Association, and just a bunch of really cool, intelligent people who want to grow food in their backyard or on their property. And so since I lost all my mature trees a couple of summers ago, it's time to plant food, more than just an annual garden. So I'm looking at actually planting perennials. And so yesterday at the meeting, we always have an auction and people bring in really cool stuff. So I actually bid on and won 5 hazelnut bushes. And hazelnuts are great because they'll actually form a green wall. A lot of the things that I'm putting in, while yes, they're going to give me food in my backyard, but they're also going to start to bring the greenery back. The trees that I had in my backyard formed basically green fences, and they're gone. So I've got elderberry coming and some kiwi, some cold hardy kiwi. They're just little tiny, but boy, they're delicious. So I'm going to plant all of those things as like hedgerows to be able to restore some of the privacy, and a lot faster growing than trying to grow, mature trees. But I got an apple tree, and so I'm excited to get that planted. It's a dwarf apple, so that will be it's a golden delicious. Not my favorite apple, but let's see where I have to go here. But I figured, you know what? I need an apple tree. We'll put it in there. My daughter likes Golden Delicious, so we'll grow some Golden Delicious, and then what I can do is I can actually graft a different type of apple onto that tree, something that I like a little better, or I can just plant another tree. But it'd be nice to have a couple of different apple trees. I'd love a pear tree. Are you growing food? What are you growing? So, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. I've got Christy. Hey, Christy, how are you? Thanks for being here. And Howie, hey, nice to have you. So, Christy, you've been planting apple, plum, fig, and peach. Awesome. Yeah, I think plum might be on my list for next year. And hey, Big Steve, how are you? Christy, you got a red delicious and a gala. Hey, Gemma, how are you? Nice to see you. Nice to see you guys on here. Yeah, I think I'm going to do plum next year, and thanks to a little bit of inspiration from Howie, I have two cold hardy, the Chicago hardy figs coming. So I'm going to do those in a pot, and I'll bring those in, put those in the garage for the winter. Or I'm actually having a new shed built, so I'm hoping that I'll have enough room in the shed to store them for the winter. So, and there'll be maybe some. I got a couple of windows in the shed too. So that's what I'm hoping is if I build a shed big enough, I can put the trees in there. I don't know if I need to heat it or not, but I don't know. We'll see. If anybody has any insight on that, let me know. So let's see. Hey, so thank you so much to being here on a Sunday evening, on this rainy Sunday here in the Detroit area. And we've got sunshine out that window and I have rain out that window. So go figure. Anyway, so last week we talked about removing all the junk from the pantry. And if you didn't get the digital download from my website, if you didn't go request it, let me go ahead and drop the link here again, and you can go sign up there. And I can, once I get your email, I can go ahead and email that document over to you. But so the important thing about restocking a pantry, there we go. Perfect. Thank you for sharing, Howie. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys could go share, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so I know you're here. And I think that's how YouTube helps me, shows me to people. So yeah, it's kind of neat, when somebody like I did my garden tour video, and I had a guy with a couple thousand people, and he came and he watched it and he commented, and so that was really neat. So new subscriber that way. So clearly my videos are getting seen and shared and ranked. So I love that. It tells me that, doing all the right things, at least I think. So anyway, so one of the things that I wanted to talk to you too is when we talk about restocking the pantry, you have to think about things like if I say you can eat rice, and I did a video on rice, it's not just going and getting minute rice or pre-seasoned rice, because in the grand scheme of things, rice is actually cheap. It's very inexpensive. But when you start buying those pre-seasoned products, those get to be expensive. You can't feed your family economically on pre-seasoned rice, and you're putting all those chemicals into your body. And one of the things that I showed on my video when I was in the pantry of death, my brother's pantry, was that they had this minute rice, which was in a bag, and you take the bag that had holes in it and you put it in boiling water, and so we put it in boiling water, and then it cooks in like 15 minutes. Well, you can cook regular rice for 20 minutes in a regular pot, and you don't have to use plastic. So you're getting all those chemicals from the plastic plus the seasoning. So not a good idea. So it's important to understand that, if I say you can have rice, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It means, get these high quality, clean products, organic rice that have been minimally chemically processed. So regular basic white rice, especially those minute products, have been washed with chemicals, and the chemicals stay in the product, and then you're eating that. Where some of the other ones, the organic versions, your brown rices, your wild rice, arborio, jasmine, just buy the most natural organic type of rice you can, and it's going to be way less expensive than buying a pre-seasoned something. But then again, you're not putting the chemicals in. So Christy's squaring off her garden. Perfect. Good. I know I was going to get out today, but it's raining. So one of the things that I do want to talk about though is salad dressing, because that's another big thing when we talk about restocking the pantry. What do you guys do? Tell me what you do for salad dressing. I want to know what you do, how you season your vegetables for salad dressing. And one of the biggest things too is, people, oh, this looks so good. They get these salad dressings in a bottle. And again, they've got monosodium glutamate. They have all of these additives in them. I don't know that I've ever seen a completely clean salad dressing in a bottle. And then again, like, you don't want to use the packet stuff either because that's full of stuff. So yeah, so olive oil and vinegar. Yep, very good, Howie. That's it. So I brought a couple of things, and one of these days I'm going to set my camera up. I was going to try to do it today, but my daughter borrowed my camera, and she's at work now. Um, so I want to actually go through my kitchen and show you, what I use, different appliances and things. But this is actually one of my favorite olive oils because it's unfiltered. But I love a lot of different olive oils. A girlfriend of mine sent me a gallon of olive oil from her. She knows somebody in Palestine, and it's an um, organic olive oil vineyard co-op. And oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's got this deep, rich flavor. It's incredible. Hey, Mandy, how are you? Thank you for being here. Um, Beet juice and Bragg's. I never thought about beet juice. That's interesting. Um, so, so I have that. Okay. So a couple of my favorite salad dressings are always a good olive oil. You don't have to use Bragg's olive oil, but it needs to be a high quality olive oil. That has to be another video that I'm going to do because olive oils are, what do you choose? So watch for that in the coming weeks. But this is my other one. I love the Bragg's apple cider vinegar. It's got the mother in it, or, it's unfiltered. So this is all those good probiotics in here that will help feed your gut. Now, every morning I do, hey, hold on, I'll show you. So I have a water bottle, and every morning I put a splash of apple cider vinegar in it, and I put about a half of a capful of this. This is called Nigari, or is it Nigari, Nigari. This is the liquid. Last summer I went down to West Virginia, and they have a salt mine there called J.Q. Dickinson's, and I'll tag them in this too. And so there's a ocean 300 feet down below the surface, and they get water from there. It's this old ancient ocean that predates the Appalachians, and so they extract the water, they bring it up, and then they have a whole process of how they get the salt to precipitate out. And then this is the liquid that's left over after the salt has precipitated out. This is probably the highest concentration of electrolyte that you could get. And so I actually need to call and find out how I can order this from them. I'll see if I can find a link so we can, I can show you guys. But I don't know the exact salinity of this or concentration, but I mean, it's really thick. It's clean. And it's great. It's really easy to throw in my water because it's already liquid. So I don't have to worry about anything dissolving. So I use that. But that's just my, what I drink in the morning, and I fast before I get started with my day. Now, the other thing is, and a lot of people might not recognize this, now, I want to show you guys, it doesn't have a lid that unscrews that you go, it doesn't do that. So this is a real, honest to goodness lemon. So my favorite salad dressing is going to be, it's right here. So this is the Bragg's olive oil. It's fresh squeezed lemon. And where's the other thing? I don't know if you guys will recognize this either. This is real garlic. Okay, now, two things. Steve, a lemon. Steve, do you know what a lemon is? I mean, aren't you like processed food guy? Celery for organic salt. Oh, yeah. Oh my God, celery is so healthy for you. So the secret to the lemon, a lot of times they'll get real hard, is you can actually kind of slam them down a little bit and roll them. So I'm rolling it on the counter, and you can get it a little squishy. You're kind of breaking the cells up in there. And then I have a little hand squeezer. So I cut it in half, I put it in the squeezer, and I get fresh squeezed lemons. Now, I know this can be the easy way out. It is organic, so I'm okay with it, but this is nothing compared to this. Promise you. And then even the squeezy stuff, oh my god, this stuff is horrible. I don't even know what that is. I think it's just citric acid. I don't even think there's lemon juice in it. And then of course the garlic, do not buy the garlic in the minced garlic in the jar that's sitting in some kind of oil or has preservatives in it. And I guarantee it doesn't taste like garlic. You might think it tastes like garlic. It has garlic flavor, but nothing tastes like garlic rather than a fresh garlic clove. Take that baby, smash it with your knife, and then run it through your garlic press. I know it's a little bit of work. However, yeah, I know you use garlic powder, Steve. Oh, I thought that was Steve Lato. Big Steve. Okay, garlic powder. Yeah. So if you like garlic and you like using garlic powder a lot, um, you'll love fresh garlic. I promise it's worth that extra minute of effort to use the fresh garlic. So I'm challenging all of you just to do a little salad dressing, get yourself a mason jar, put a fresh pressed clove of garlic or two. I think this one might have like 4 cloves of garlic in it. Like I'm not afraid of that. And then I also think it has 2 or 3. This was full because I made a salad and I've been eating off of this all week. So this has like 3 or 4 lemons in it. And then of course, and then I just fill it with the olive oil and it's amazing. And then of course, some good Redmond sea salt. So those are like your basics that you can use for everything. So let's see. So Steve, you have vampire ancestors. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah. That would explain like why your skin kind of glows. You're kind of a white boy there. Yeah. The garlic. Oh, you buy the garlic chopped from Costco. Yeah. Now, here I make my own salsa, and I'm not about to sit here and peel. If I need, I don't know. Well, I probably usually need about a half a pound of garlic. I'm not doing this. I'm actually going to buy the bag from Costco of the peeled cloves, but I'm going to bring it home and I'm going to use it right away because what you have to recognize is that the longer it sits in that bag, the more it loses. Like once you open it, you're going to lose the potency. But it's actually really good when you first open it up. So I'm not opposed to that hack. You can even buy little containers in the store, the little grocery store down the road sells just little containers of fresh peeled cloves. Because if you're not up for doing this, that would be the second best way to do it. And then again, you just need a garlic or just smash it with your knife and give it a good chop. So yeah, so Mandy, yeah, don't buy I'm assuming you're talking about the big thing, the chopped garlic in the jar with the stuff in it, right? Yeah, don't do that. Just yeah, if you're like, yeah, this is too much maintenance, buy the actual real cloves in the bag. And they go a long way. And I don't think you can freeze garlic only because, and I've just heard this before with because I had experimented with freezing hummus, and I had, in my research of that, it was freeze it first. If I was going to make a bunch, let's say for a party, freeze it first. Then when I pull it out, add the garlic because something happens to the garlic in the freezing process. Okay, Howie says he likes the Allison in garlic. So Howie's he's a smart man. So Allison is actually it's a what is it? A nutrient. It's not an enzyme. What is it, Howie? It's escaping me. It's a we'll call it a nutrient. It's when you have a fresh clove of garlic. Now you will not get Allison from powdered garlic. You won't get it from the chopped stuff in the jar. And but you will get it from the fresh garlic. You take this, and once you smash it, that releases the Allison. And what Allison does is it's incredibly healing to the gut. I mean, garlic is amazing. If you have any gut issues, you want to eat some garlic. The what it does is it actually goes in and it be antibacterial, it can be antiviral, it can be antifungal. There's actually you can buy Allison supplements. So, but be very careful because a real Allison supplement is going to be about $120 for a jar like this because they've extracted the Allison, they've concentrated it, put it into pill form. And these are people that I work with. I'll put them on that who have like C. diff, so Clostridium difficile, which is an actual bacteria that it's usually acquired. People think about it acquired through hospitals or excess medication. We're getting it just through autoimmune issues, all the chronic illnesses we have. We're seeing a lot more C. diff. Where back in the day, people would say, "Oh, C. diff kills people. It's only hospital acquired, and if you get it in the hospital, you die." No, no, no. That's not the way it is anymore. So many people are walking around with C. diff. I wish I knew the percentage. I haven't been able to get that kind of a number, but it's a lot because I test people all the time. And I probably see it, if I had to guess, I probably see 2 to 3 people out of 10. And that's a lot when you talk about, C. diff being something that was, that used to just, you get it in the hospital and you kill everybody. So now it's killing you slowly. So Allison and garlic, super healthy, but it has to come from here. So once you smash it and you chop it, give it a couple minutes, and that releases the Allison. That's why this is like an elixir, even though it's a salad dressing. I mean, I could put this on my on my potatoes. I could put it on my vegetables, but the Allison's all released in here, and so this is a good. It's like a nutrient bomb for my gut. So think about it like that. If you cook with it, you lose the Allison. So that's why, doing this every day, having a little bit of fresh garlic every single day will actually be good for your gut. So if you have anything autoimmune or any gut health, you want to do that. Excuse me. Hey, no, come here. Every time camera goes on, he wants to play, go outside. It's raining. I'm not about to be wiping paws right now. White Boy Steve. Now oh my God, were you the inspiration for that movie, Steve? Yeah, White Boy Steve was from Detroit. That was a movie. Anybody see that movie? So Howie, I want to grow garlic really badly. Where does it grow? Does it grow in acid soil, alkaline? What is it like? And is it hard to grow? When do I start it? I would love to grow some garlic. So Mandy, it's garlic and water. Really? That's interesting because I'm thinking, how would it not go bad? Does it keep it in the fridge? And there's no potassium sorbate or sodium benzoate or anything like that in there. Let's see. And yes, Christy, you should try growing garlic, and so should I. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Plant chemical. Let's call it that, Howie. I think that's probably, yeah, it's a chemical of sorts, but it's a plant chemical that's good and healthy for you. Old garlic, when gone yellow, will have lots of Allison. Okay. Interesting. Because usually it gets dry, but it probably has to be something you've is there a different store-bought or grown? Plant garlic in the fall or very early in the spring. I might be too late right now. April 16th. What do you think? Am I too late, or can I go throw some garlic down in my garden right now? So how inspires you to grow garlic in pots? Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. Alkaline and plant garlic before spring or before fall. Okay. Yeah, of course, alkaline, because I've got the blueberry patch that I'm trying to get to more acids. So I got to pick a whole nother patch. Let's see. The correct spelling is Allison. Thank you, Big Steve. Appreciate you looking that up. I knew it was not like a girl's name, but I could never remember if it was a C or an S and 1 or 2 L's. So I appreciate that. Allicin is the plant chemical in Allison that is antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial, that is super for your health. California garlic as well in the jar, double check. It also has citric acid. So garlic and the acid. So the citric acid, does it say non-GMO? Because citric acid is usually corn derived and GMO. But again, it's not going to be as good as this. Think about it, it's in that water. So the water is going to dilute and pull, like it's basically garlic water. So it's pulling the nutrients and plant chemicals out of this. So I would go for this straight up. And if you use as much garlic as I do, you end up you go through it. So this doesn't end up in a shriveled, dried up, mess in your drawer. Three-time world spelling bee champion. Nice job, Big Steve. Woohoo! Plant right away and use the clothes. Yeah, just take this and throw it in the ground, right? I got to take the paper off though, don't I? Oopsie. Yeah, I think I got to take the paper off. So salad dressing, because I wanted to talk about that today because it's one of the biggest questions I get. What do I do for salad dressing? Now, again, it just takes a little bit of effort. You make it you could I've done this in a 16-ounce jar, and you just keep it in the fridge. And I kept topping this off. So I would stop. Okay, I'm gonna let him out. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so that's salad dressing, but even like these basics, the olive oil, the apple cider vinegar, the sea salt, the lemon, the garlic, all of those should be staples. And so let's see, garlic that is yellow and starting to sprout has the most. Oh yeah, so sprouting, yeah. So when you see it sprouting, it hasn't gone bad. So actually, you could probably take that one and throw it in the ground too. I'm going to pull up here. Let me see. So I had a list for you guys. I was going to print off, if you remember from last week, and then of course I just dropped the link this week to get the free downloads. And last week's list was things to never ever have in your pantry. This week's list is things that you should always have. So you want to do this swap, and yes, peel the plant. Perfect, good. Let me go here. So I was trying to print off the list, so I had my cheat sheet in front of me. And of course, my printer's not working. I've had 4 computers go down on me, and I had to have all of them fixed. And then came home, got everything fixed. It's back at the office. I have 4 office computers. And my other laptop, fortunately, I have 2 laptops, which is why I'm live here today. And then my other laptop, gone, just completely gone. So I have no idea what's going on in my world, that all of my computers have crashed on me. So thank you to Old Faithful right here, my Zen book. All right, so we talked about sea salt. Sea salt has 80 minerals, no toxic additives if you're buying the correct sea salt. It is the second major constituent in your body besides water. So it is so important to actually make sure you're having good, high quality sea salt. It helps with blood pressure, fatigue, adrenal disorders, cholesterol levels, headaches, immune system dysfunction, thyroid disorders. And that's why in the morning when I have my water, I put my Nagari along with my apple cider vinegar. And to be honest with you, what it does is it helps to it helps stave off hunger. It helps balance blood sugar. Between that and the apple cider vinegar is a great way to start the day. And my water bottle is probably 32 ounces. And then I just, start it off in there. And then I get about halfway through, I just keep topping it off throughout the day. So I end up, drinking a lot of it over the day. So, all right. So now, other things to have: organic chicken and vegetable stock. Again, if you can make this yourself, we talked about that. Now I could dive deep on each one of these things. So I'm going to go through this real quick. And then if you have questions on each one, in fact, if you have questions on something specific that should you have in your pantry, or what's a good swap, go ahead and drop that in the chat and I can answer that for you. Organic, fresh, or canned tomatoes. I prefer diced or fire roasted. However, I make my own. And that usually carries me through the winter and into the summer until I can make more in the fall. Nut milks, make these yourself. They're just too easy to make. And the nut milks in the store have stabilizers and chemicals in them. So you really want to avoid that. Easy recipe: half cup nuts to 2 cups of water, throw it in your blender, and then store it in a mason jar for about 5 days. And you don't have to strain it. Depending on what you're using it for, you just, I use raw cashews. That's my favorite ingredient for nut excuse me, nut milk. And the beauty of it is that the cashews just melt right into the you just have to shake it a little bit when you're ready to use it. So um, you're growing hundreds, $30 a pound for the garlic. Wow. Were you selling that at your local market, Howie? Let us know, and then I'll go back. So vinegars of any kind, keep in mind that vinegars shouldn't have a label. So I also did a video, oh gosh, 3 or 4 months ago on vinegars. I was in a store that sells vinegars, and the thing is, it's fermented fruit. So with that, it should be pressed. It should be, I forgot what the term. So it's either they put like, um, let's say I have a lemon ginger vinegar up there. So they put fresh lemon and fresh ginger infusion. That's what it is. So they either do an infusion with they put it in there with water, and they let that for however many whatever other ingredients they put in there to let it ferment, or they press it. So there's 2 ways to do that. But that's it. It shouldn't have anything other than the pure ingredients in there. Now, if you look at vinegars when you go to the store, a lot of them will have an ingredient list, and this is just organic apple cider vinegar and water. In fact, I'm gonna try to find a local farm and get some organic apples this year, and make my own apple cider vinegar, because I use so much of it that I'm like, why am I buying it? I think it's just better to make on your own. Let's see if you guys dropped anything in here. Yeah, do you make your own apple cider vinegar, Howie? Um, yeah, so Mandy, I usually eat the cashews too, and the only time we use nut milk is, and my daughter, we're not milk drinkers by any means, but the only time we use nut milk is if, uh, oh, when do we even use it? She'll make like an acai bowl, and she'll make, cashew milk, or I'll use it for if I'm going to thicken up a soup or something like that. So I use it just in place of regular dairy milk. So a friend made you some apple cider vinegar, Mandy? Yeah, I think I've watched some YouTube videos, and it looks like just super simple. A lot of things are super simple to make, but and you guys are great, because I know you all have that adventuresome uh, gene in you. So I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I got to use fresh garlic. I had a patient a couple weeks ago. She's like, you mean I need to grate my own cheese and not buy the garbage with the cellulose in it? And I go, yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. You have to take 2.5 extra minutes and grate your own cheese. Like period. It's making sure that you're taking these steps. Okay, so fresh ground herbs and spices, blend them yourself. And again, it's okay to buy a blended, let's say a chili powder. However, look at the label, because a lot of spices have chemicals in them. They've had chemicals in the processing. I have a whole video coming on spices and the different brands, ones that you wouldn't even think of, that have that were found to have toxic chemicals in them. So it's still possible they could have toxic chemicals, but if you're also avoiding any like silicon dioxide, anti-caking agents, just buy it. Make sure it has pure ingredients in there. Fresh garlic, fresh fruits and vegetables, fresh, organic, locally grown is my first choice. Fresh, conventional. So stick with the Clean 15, which is from the Environmental Working Group. I've talked about them. Clean 15 is the fruits and vegetables that they recommend that you could buy conventionally. And then the Dirty Dozen are the fruits and vegetables that you must buy organically. So let's see. Almost every house in the village has apple and fruit tree. Oh my God, that's great. Were you the Howie, was that you that said you'd go around your neighborhood and just like plant things? Just what did you call it? The gorilla gardener or something? Just like randomly go and like start planting stuff all around. I thought that visual was so funny. I love that idea too. I'm like, oh yeah, I should start doing that. Just going around the neighborhood, just planting stuff. We have a lot of people who spray in our neighborhood too, so that kind of bugs me. So more must-haves. So sesame seeds, sesame tahini. This is what I use. So this is literally ground sesame seeds. This is different than seed oils, and we use it. Middle Eastern cuisine. It's what goes into hummus and baba ganoush. You can actually just make a dressing out of tahini. It's super high in fat, has really healthy fats in there, and it's delicious. Um, Pine nuts. I used to keep pine nuts on hand, but they got so expensive. So every once in a while, I'll buy them. They're about $30 a pound, so they're pretty expensive. Kind of like the garlic, walnuts, cashews. So and again, nuts. And then I have on here good dark chocolate. So there you go. I think dark chocolate is critical to have on hand because we all have a sweet craving every once in a while, and chocolate's so good for you, but it has to be the right kind of chocolate. It can't have all the garbage in it, and the secret is to when you have a craving and you take a piece of this really good dark chocolate and you put it on your tongue, you let it melt, you let it get onto the roof of your mouth, and you just savor it. And what that does, that literally helps the chemicals in your brain to connect with the fact that you're giving it something that it wants. And so the craving for sweet, actually you cut it off because you're taking the time. You're not like mowing down 300 Hershey's Kisses. You're just giving your body that time to reflect on what's happening in the mouth and connect with the brain to that craving. So that's how you want to have your, any kind, even if let's say somebody's like, you got to have this piece of cheesecake. Same thing. One bite, put it in your mouth, savor it, let it get to the roof of your mouth. Let your brain connect with what you're giving it. And then you're not going to want to eat the whole damn thing, because that's the problem, is you eat it too fast and then you don't give your body time to really think about what it's getting. So take your time. Let's see, go meet your farmer at the farm, have questions written down. Yeah. So this is why I love farmers market season, because I talk to the farmers. I actually am going to be doing farm tours, so watch for that this summer. So I'm going to be going to some different farms around Michigan, and not just farms, but people who like food forests. So people like Howie who like to grow food on their land and have spent years like planting fruit trees and nut trees and chestnuts and black walnuts and just people who want to grow their own food. And so that's actually the series that I'll be kicking off here once the weather starts getting a little bit nicer and we can get out and start touring some properties. So I'm actually really excited to do that. So Mandy, I'm not a sweet fan at all. Dislike chocolate. Oh my gosh. I know when people say they dislike chocolate, I'm like, what's wrong with you? But no, that's good. And personally, I'm not a sweet fan either. I crave salt. And as much salt as I eat, you wouldn't think that I crave salt. But yeah, my craving is salt for sure. So not a sweet craver, which is why for people who are, you've got to take your time. You've got to take your time and let your palate know what you're giving it, because again, it's communicating with your brain. Making food and listening. Cacao beans are great for taking the craving away, but can up the blood pressure. Yeah, so I actually have the cacao nibs, and I will only do those. So I and there's not as much caffeine in the cacao beans, but I'm also sensitive to caffeine. I can't have it, later in the afternoon. So I stop all my caffeine intake by noon. I have probably have 10 to 16 ounces of coffee every day. So 16 is probably a lot more than I should have. But that's about what I have. And I'm usually done drinking coffee by like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. But if I'm real tired and I'm thinking, oh, I want to go for a coffee at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm not doing it because it'll definitely disrupt my sleep. Um, yes, yes, Earth Day, April 22nd, 6 more sleeps. Hey, Howie, I hear you do a thing for Earth Day. What do you do? Coffee and tea black, yeah. hmm I love black tea. Oh, Mandy, you drink coffee all day long. Were you saying you had sleep issues before? So caffeine stays in your system for 12 hours. Some people are good metabolizers of caffeine and some aren't. And so it's important to recognize, like my dad was the guy who could like drink a cup of coffee and fall asleep. Okay, so that's good. No sleep issues. Now, if you're drinking coffee all day long, though, at a certain point, it's like again, the poisons in the dose. You're having way too much. So I would definitely try to cut back on that because you're going to dehydrate yourself and that's going to lead to other issues too. So you don't want to be dehydrated. So I'm actually drinking a little ginger lemon kombucha today. My daughter and I went to yoga this morning and we went to a restaurant that she wanted me to try. And I had a lobster omelet that had no lobster in it, but it like kind of it didn't sit well with me. I'm like, ugh. So anyway, I'm having kombucha. That was like my indulgent meal for the day. I know. So I just topped off. So dinner before I got on here, I had a giant pile of arugula and mixed greens with some chopped pecans on it and some of this dressing. So I just piled that down to try to clean my gut out from whatever is bothering me from breakfast. So, so Howie, you're going to be live, and those that to do the best for Mother Earth shall reward the code do and seeds. What is that? Maybe a t-shirt and a mug giveaway. Um, are you going to post your link for your live so we can grab it and share it, or will you just go live that day? Because if you have a link that we could grab and share that, I would definitely, um, love to share that across the socials for you. Um, May 6th is the International Permaculture Day. Oh, look at you with the calendar. Okay. So are you doing something for that too? So if you guys aren't following Howie, get over there and follow him because he's got all the fun stuff going on. So yeah, so Earth Day, I have, oh, good. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've got, well, and I don't know if you were on, Howie. Yesterday I was at we have a group here called the Michigan Fruit and Nut Growers Association. So it's people who just want to grow food on their property. And I got 5 hazelnut trees. I got an apple tree and what else? I have elderberry coming and kiwi coming, and then the blueberries too. So I'm going to have a lot of cool stuff to plant this year from a perennial perspective. So I'm super excited about the hazelnuts. It's a smaller nut. I'm told it's a be a harder shell. Probably won't be as edible, but they could be like a sacrificial plant so that the deer don't come and eat my arborvitae. So um, permaculture. Okay, I gotta look that up. Yeah, I always wondered where that term came from. Um, because yeah, I love it. Just the whole food forest. I love that you call yourself food forest permaculture. You just got all the things going on. Um, so do you guys have any questions? American filbert, really? Does it grow? Is it a bush or is it a tree? Yeah, I'm excited to grow the hazelnuts. Um, so um because those will be if I can get 'em. I'm almost thinking too, if I could get them and just maybe crack them out, like put them in like a cloth bag and then hit them with a hammer and throw them in a pot of water and just boil them for tea. I think that would be, yeah. Oh gosh. Oh, hazelnut is the American filbert. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm thinking filberts, those the big ones. So you have a filbert and the squirrels get to the okay. How's the meat in them? Do you ever get any of them or no? And how big do they grow? These that I have are probably going to grow. These hazelnut bushes are probably going to grow 6 to 8 feet. Um, yeah. So it's nice. It'll be 6 to 8 feet, and then I'm going to put it across the back of the yard. So that's going to be like my hedgerow in the back, and then I'll put the elderberry and the kiwi over on this side. That'll be a hedgerow on the side, next to my arborvitae. And yeah, I'm excited. 500 ml jar last year. They're very tasty. Okay, cool. All right, I'll have to look that up and see. I'm going to a grafting class in a couple weeks. So we'll see what we'll be grafting then. But I might try to stick with fruit on that one instead of not like another apple. I'd love a pear tree. Don't have a pear yet, but yeah, yeah. So it'll be fun. All right, guys. Any other questions? Any other comments? Anything else you want to know about what to have in your kitchen or what not to have? Just remember to keep things pure. So when you're buying, like I said, if you're buying not this and you're buying something in the jar, there's always an additive in there and there's always a trade-off. So yes, you're paying for the price of convenience, but I would definitely, I mean, my gosh, Mandy, I think what I would prefer to do rather than buying that stuff from Costco is you could take the garlic and you can, or you get the cloves and you could put them in olive oil. But then you got to be careful too. Like, got to make sure no water gets in there because then that could go rancid. But, put them in olive oil, keep them in the fridge. That'd be one way to preserve them. Find the scroll show. You can find their pantry of nuts and apples. That's funny. So you're planting a food forest for animals. That's good. Hold on, I got to let the dog back in. Come here. Wipe your paws. Come here. Come here. Okay, I'm back. All right. Okay. If you get hungry, find the trail to the pantry. Yeah. That's great. Well, I'm hoping for some morels in my pine patch back there this year. I told you I got those morels back there. So never found a morel before until my tree came down, and then they were growing in the mulch of the pine. So that'll. And then my daughter also wants to grow mushrooms, so she wants to do some oysters. I did shiitakes a few years ago, and those turned out really well. But I don't have any logs. We did drill and fill a few years back. And I don't have logs to do that with. So I'm going to find, and I know there's other ways to do it with like cardboard and mulch and things like that. So, but we got to find out. We're thinking the side of the house over here. This is north facing, and moss grows over there. So I think that'll be really good for mushrooms on that side. So yeah, we're gonna be surrounded by a food forest. People will come to my house for the apocalypse, right? And I'm like, you shouldn't have sprayed your lawn. What's a trial nebel? Is that that's a mushroom? Clams and oyster at the beach. Oh my gosh. Like, you're talking real clams, not like mushrooms, right? Like clams and oysters at an actual beach, because that sounds really good. Yeah, that sounds amazing. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to head out. I got a couple videos to edit and get out for this week. But I hope this was helpful for you. I just tried to whittle it down to the most common thing that people want is their salad dressing. So a little bit of work up front gives you a half pint to a pint jar for the week with all fresh ingredients. And I want to know how you liked it, because this is I'm telling you, it will dance on your palate. You will love it. So thank you, guys. I always appreciate you being here. Grateful for each and every one of you. Have an incredible week. And remember, just reach out to me if you have any questions on stocking your pantry. And let's get everybody healthy. All right, guys. Have an amazing night. Mwah. See you soon. And see you next week on Howie's Live for Earth Day. Hey, Howie, what time are you doing that? Real quick. Did you sign off already? He's gone. Save your seeds. Yes. What time's your live for Earth Day? Because I think that's next Saturday. So yeah, I'm gonna plant several trees in honor of Earth Day. I think that'll be a good video. So okay, Howie, we'll look out for your live then. Oh, 12 midnight. 12 midnight. Dude, I'm gonna be sound asleep. I'll catch it on the replay. All right, you know I love you. All right, thanks, guys. See you soon.